Check. Check 1, 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Heyman, and I serve as counsel to the one, the only Baker Mayfield, the quarterback of destiny, the field general of the reigning, defending, undisputed NFC South champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this Monday night, while the Detroit Lions are busy playing with their food, my client, Baker Mayfield, and the Buccaneers are going to do what they do best: run straight through them. That's not a prediction, my friends. That's a spoiler.
Welcome back to the Villain Report. I am the 313 Villain. My name is Russell Wayne. I am the UDFA of sports podcasting. I am the unwanted, the unfiltered, the unapologetic voice of the fan base that bleeds Honolulu blue. In this episode right here, it's Overreaction Monday. And I am way late on here. I fixed some streaming issues right here. We're talking about some problem solving that the Villain did this morning. But we're going to talk about these games that happened yesterday. We're going to talk about this game that is happening tonight. And yes, this episode isn't going to be brought to you by anybody because I dropped the ball today. And that is what it is. But this is the Lion Villain Report. Welcome one. Welcome all. And I am on a different streaming network now. Restream, my other asset that I was using, was deciding not to work this morning. So I apologize that I'm way late. So I've been freaking out all morning. I feel like I've gotten nothing done. And here we are. I do got some new toys in my room. I got an extra monitor now, which is kind of cool, which is fun. But let's say hello to everybody. I want to make sure that everybody can hear me. Everybody can hear me. I can see everybody in there. I got Rick C.
You like that? You like that?
Can you hear the drops right there? Can you hear Kirk
like
Cousins?
You like that?
Good morning, Rick C.
You just made the list.
Good morning, Davey.
You just made the list.
Good morning, Tyler.
You just made the list.
Let's go. Red Wings hockey is in
You
town.
just made the list.
Are all the teams in the 313 really, really good? What a great time to have my podcast during this time of all of the greatness that is going on. The Tigers are good. The Pistons look like they're good. The Red Wings are good. The Lions are good. So I'm liking life right now as a Detroit fan in the house. I dig it. I love a little bit of the trash talking that's been going on this week. I mean, why not? We're looking at some of this stuff right here. Come on, Slick Rick, tell them what it's all about.
Woo!
Detroit Lions, Monday Night Football. We're talking about the jet flying, limousine riding, kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, son of a gun is in the 313. Baby, Ric Flair is going to tell you how it is. Woo! Tampa Bay better hold on tight because the Detroit Lions like to drive real fast. Ali McNeil's back. The Big Mac is on the grill. Hutch is bringing the pressure, and Goss got that woo, that 313 swagger locked in. You can call Baker Mayfield the Rebel all you want, but come Monday night, he's stepping into Ford Field. When you ride with Dan Campbell, you riding in style. So put on your shades, button up that Honolulu blue suit, and remember one thing. To be the man, you gotta beat the man. Woo!
Yeah, baby Ric Flair in the house. I love it. I've been loving my life. You know what? I'm back in my StreamYard right here, and I'm digging some of this because I remember I had a whole bunch of stuff locked in here. My impression, what I'd like to have right now. What I'd like to have right now is for all of you fat, out of shape, Tampa Bay Buccaneer pissants. Keep the noise down while I take my robe off and show all the ladies what a real sexy man looks like. Hit the music.
You just made the list.
Let me tell you something, brothers. With me and all my Hulkamaniacs out there, dude, the Villain Report is going live. Usually it's at 10 o'clock, but they were late, brother. But that doesn't matter. Jump on the back of the largest arms in the world, the largest back in the world. And what you gonna do, brother? Yeah, when the Detroit Lions run wild on you. Yeah. The Villain Squad is cool. The cool. Yeah.
Man, yesterday, it's so painful to watch football when your team isn't playing. You know, it's one thing if you already know if you lost or whatever, but just sitting there and watching all of those other teams playing. And, you know, watching the NFC North becoming tougher, even more tougher. It's gotta put a shout out to the Green Bay Packers right there. We'll start with them. Talk a little bit about these Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers get that dub 27-23, and I guarantee that was a lot harder than they thought it was going to be. The Green Bay Packers getting everything that they wanted to get out of them Arizona Cardinals. Jordan Love, 19 for 29, 179 yards and a TD.
It's my quarterback.
Yeah, he ain't my. I'm glad he's not my quarterback. He's all right, man. That they're struggling against some average teams that are out there. They're lucky that their schedule is the way that it is. They're lucky they got us week 1. While we're still figuring some stuff out. But this Green Bay Packer team at 4-1, I put the fraud alert on there. You want to talk about fool's gold? You're having trouble with backup Brissett. Green Bay in there struggling all the way down. playing some defense. I got to give them credit, though. They won the game. This is the NFL. This is the NFL. They won the game. I mean, he's okay. You put a lot of stock in here on Jordan Love, and he's good. I mean, he ain't as good as Rodgers. You know, definitely a downgrade in Green Bay quarterbacking. Definitely not getting 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in a row. I mean, you got an okay quarterback. 27-23. Really struggling against them Cardinals right there. Jacoby Brissett, 25 of 36 for 279 yards. 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Averaging 4 yards to carry on the ground. For Zonovan Knight. Trey McBride, 10 catches, 74 yards with 2 TDs. Yeah, I mean, they won the game. They're 4-1. They're at the top of the NFC North. Green Bay Packers up on the top of the Week 7 mountain, looking down on the Lions, looking down on the Chicago Bears, looking down on the Minnesota Vikings. Lions got to win this game tonight just to stay and keep pace, because Green Bay Packers sitting there at 4-1-1. With a really bad loss to the Browns, a tie, and really that three of those games right there could easily be 3-3 right now. Not a very impressive win for the Packers, but you know, it's the NFL, and you know, you'll take it. You'll take it. If you're a Green Bay Packer fan, you ain't apologizing for this. I don't care. I don't care what the win looked like. Jacoby Brissett played out of his mind. Jacoby Brissett maybe had the best game of his career. And still wasn't good enough. It still wasn't good enough. You had chances to punch it into the end zone. You had chances to put Green Bay away, and you didn't do it. Kudos to Green Bay at the end of the game. Micah Parsons looked like a beast. You know, I hate the Packers, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you that he looked impressive. He looked unblockable. But then again, you're talking about the Cardinals. Micah Parsons had 3 sacks yesterday. He was dominant. It looked idiotic at times for the Cardinals to just stick Jonah Williams out there on Micah Parsons one-on-one and expect the same results. So, not a very impressive win for the Packers. I mean, you're struggling against a team that just isn't very good. And then you tied a team that wasn't very good. You struggled against the Bengals, who aren't very good. You got beat by the Browns, who aren't very good. But you're 4-1-1 As a Packer fan, you don't care. Like, go Pack, go all day. He says, why are the Packers so good that they keep on surprising? I mean, I don't know what they're surprising. They're beating bad teams that they should beat. They're beating bad teams that they should beat, but they're not beating them in a dominant way like you would portray that your team is. So it's a win. Counts as a win. Let's move on. I'm done talking about unimpressive wins. You beat Jacoby Brissett. And on your against your impenetrable defense, Jacoby Brissett had a career night and lost. That's the only thing that really matters when it comes down to it. It counts as a W. And for another week, gonna have to look down. The Green Bay Packers are looking down on everybody right now. They're looking down. All the smack talking doesn't mean nothing. Doesn't mean nothing. Green Bay's looking down on us and they're laughing at us. Got to win this game tonight to keep pace. You got to make that Thanksgiving game, keep right on their heels all the way to that Thanksgiving. But the Minnesota Vikings, no, you know what? I'm not going to the Vikings yet. We'll save the best for last when we're talking about the Vikings. Gosh, I'm just having some fun in here. I got it because I'm not done giving out some kudos right here. Check out these Bears. How about them Bears? The Bears out there making moves. The Bears 26-14 put a beat down. They put a beat down on them New Orleans Aints. And it's another one of those things. You're not going to apologize for a win. But their win was a hell of a lot more impressive than the Packers' win. But it's another thing. You look at this. And, talking with Broski yesterday, he's just like, I don't want to. He's afraid to believe in his team. He's afraid to believe in his team because he's been I'm realistic Broski his whole life. Seems like, yeah, they haven't had a relevant team in a while, and it's a very safe spot to stay in that nice little safe space of we're not very good. And I'm just being the constructive criticism fan. It's hard to buy into your team. And as a Bear fan, winning 4 games in a row, 4 in a row, 4-2, sitting right there. Winning record, 26-14. I really don't even think it was really that close. New Orleans tried to do a little something there at the end, but the defense stepped up. It closed them out, winning by more than a TD. Spencer Rattler is a perfect example of somebody who's decent that needs to get out of his own way. In that, Caleb Williams, 15 of 26. He still looks like he's having some trouble trying to run Ben Johnson's offense. But once again, the talent is undeniable. DeAndre Swift, 124 yards. Check out old Swifty. You know, you got it going on the ground. And I've said 100 times on here, when you're looking at the Chicago Bears, they got talent, man. There's no denying the Caleb Williams talent. But I would really like to see Ben Johnson try to, you know, build that offense around that skill set a little bit. He's trying to get Caleb to run a lot of that like reading type of offense that Jared Goff likes to play here, and it's good because it schemes guys open. It's not that it's a bad offense, but it's like there's all of this talent. That's why you went there, right, Ben? You went there to Chicago because you're like, oh yeah, I like Jared Goff, but I wish that he was mobile, and you got to build the offense around that, Ben. You're asking Caleb to first and foremost be something that he's not. He's got the arm talent to do that job, but maybe you do. You're able to be the quarterback whisperer, and it ends up working out. But, you know, Caleb Williams, I mean, that's okay. You ran the offense. But once again, offensively, I'm not really all that impressed with what they're pulling off in Chicago. Now, defensively, they look like that defense is pretty good. Playing disciplined, playing sound. So, but then again, here you are. It's the New Orleans Aints. They beat a 1-16. But the thing is you gotta beat the team that's in front of you. I mean, that's really it. But they ran all over them, though. I mean, that's a sign of their offensive line being good. What you guys got going on here? I wish that there's one thing. I love StreamYard because I'm using StreamYard right now to stream this. I love the functionality of StreamYard better, but I love being able to show the comments. Oh, maybe they do have that. Huh. There it is. I like it. Okay. Never mind. I stand corrected. That StreamYard made StreamYard made an upgrade. Kudos to StreamYard. Look at that. Yeah, Rick says the Packers have two surprises so far this season, tying the Cowboys and losing to the Browns. And they weren't very good against the Bengals, and they really weren't that good yesterday in the game. But they were able to win. That's the thing. Is like you got to find a way to win ugly games. Dan Campbell tell you that. And the thing is that team is still, you know, progressively getting better too because they have a lot of young players. And I've said that 100 times that the most dangerous part of a team is the progression of a team. It isn't the one player you bring in the offseason. It's never one player. It's like I like the idea of Green Bay getting Micah Parsons, but he is just one player. You know, on the biggest fourth down on the game yesterday in that game, Micah Parsons wasn't even out on the field because they knew that it was going to be run stopping, and he's not as useful on the rundowns. So one player, there's nobody that's going to go out there besides a quarterback that's playing that much where they're touching the ball or have an opportunity like that. So they haven't played very, very well up to par yet, but it's still the beginning of the season. She says it felt like a Packer loss. Yeah. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Yeah. Love to have a schedule like the Pack or the Bears cakewalk schedules. Well, you know what? You know, we want to be the big dog. If the Lions want to be the big dog and they want to, you know, keep playing with the big kids, then you got to play first place schedules. And first place schedules are hard. Last year's schedule was supposedly hard too. The one they went 15-2 on. That was a first place schedule. The thing is like by the time you play half of the teams that you thought were going to be good, you find out that half the teams that you thought were going to be good weren't good. And half the teams that you thought were going to be bad are good. So I think tough games, I don't know. Like, I don't think that the Commanders look like they're all that good. But I think that the Giants, you know, I think the Giants, that looked like an easy win on our schedule that, you know, I think the Giants might be tougher than people thought. I mean, everybody thought that the Bengals game was going to be a tough game. Well, they lost their quarterback, and then the injuries happened. So, you know, when they make these at the beginning of the season predictions, it's like you don't really know what any of these teams are until week, 8. So, but kudos right there. I got to give a shout out to the Bears. Got to put a shout out to Broski. Thought Broski would be on here today. Broski is weird. Broski ghosts after wins. If the Bears get their ass kicked, he'll be the first person in the comments right there, owning it. But Broski ghosts after wins. Like, why are you ghosting after a win, buddy? I'm here. I'm here fluffing it up for you. A little bit. Come on, broski. Where you at? All right, well, let's get into the fun thing. Like something that, I know that we got the Packer fan in the comments. We got some Bear fans in the comments, Lions fans in the comments. So let's do something that we can all mutually have some fun with here, where the Eagles really go in there and take care of some business, and now the Vikings are the only non-winning team in the division. So we can all laugh at them together. Because here we are, week 7, taking the week 7 picture. And there go the Minnesota Vikings. Aw. Carson Wentz. Thought you were coming back there at the end a little bit. Look at Carson Wentz, 26 of 42, 313 yards. Oh, 2 interceptions. Jalen Hurts, incredibly efficient at 19 to 23 for 326 yards, 3 TDs. They made Jalen Hurts is a dangerous quarterback, man. Because everybody wants to have these just grandiose ideas of, all you got to do is keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket. Yeah. How'd that work out for you? You send all these exotic blitzes. You see that rollout that he had? Threw a dime on 3rd down and like 17 to A.J. Brown. Yeah. Minnesota's or the Eagles are just really good. I ain't going to take that much out on Minnesota. Honestly, if you got to give Minnesota almost credit a little bit. They actually played okay in that game, considering, you're playing behind the 8 ball. We're not allowed to give excuses, but they are playing with injuries and all that. So I'm not going to crucify them too much. I'm less impressed with the Packer win than I am with this loss. I think that that's just a tough team. Interesting. That's an interesting take right there, Mr. Go Pack all day. I don't it's true. It's true. We don't care. You can win the mid-season championships. The Lions know what all that's about. The mid-season accolades. Oh, look at how good they are in week 8. It's okay. It's okay. What it comes down to is you win, and that NFC North, that race comes even tighter. You got the Bears sitting at 4-2, and the Lions are either going to be 4-3 or they're going to be 5. Either way, they're still going to be in that race. And even the Vikings sitting at 3-3, it's a tight race in the NFC North. NFC North is looking tough. NFC North is looking tough. And if the Lions win and knock them off of their peg, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it really is kind of a free-for-all when it comes down to it. You can call yourself the best team because you got the one loss. And honestly, if you look at it the other way, I'll give you some credit. This with Go Pack Go, the all day guy. I don't know what your real name is, but really, you could call the Browns' loss a fluke. If you're a Packer fan, you look at it and be like, you tripped up. You got beat on that any given Sunday, but outside of that, you're undefeated. You've won games despite not playing your best football. And you know what? And any other team would trade records with you in a second. It doesn't matter how you get the wins. Doesn't matter what they look like. Doesn't matter if you blow them out by 75 points. A win is a win is a win. And the Vikings still look good on defense. I think the Vikings played very well against a high-quality opponent. The Packers beat the Cardinals. Okay, well, the Cardinals aren't very good. The Bears beat the Saints, but the Saints aren't very good. The Vikings lost to a really, really good team, and you can go into the controversies of the catch and everything. If his name was Travis Kelce, that would have been a touchdown. So Vikings are, a sniff away, from beating a really, really good Philadelphia team that had full strength. So I don't know. That just goes to that thought that I have that the NFC North is the best division in football going forward. Take it easy, Mr. Go Pack Go. Have a good day at work. The Bears don't look like the Bears right now. Ben Johnson is turning the culture of that team around. Like when I was a younger fan, I really got into players and stats. And I still do get into players and stats. But that's not what I look for when I think of health of a team. And I'm not talking just physical health. I'm talking mental health of a team. Teams that are playing together. Teams that are buying into what their coaches are laying down. Because that's a powerful thing. You could have the best coach in the world with the best ideas, innovative and all that. But if you ain't got, 11 guys on each side buying into your BS, then what are you going to do? There's nothing. You can't install anything. You can't organize 11 on 11. Doesn't matter how good your ideas are. You have to get your guys to be motivated and buy into your schematics. And that, to me, was the biggest question that Ben Johnson needed to answer going to Chicago. Is you got to get a non-well-oiled machine. You got to take all the cogs out, take all the BS out of there, and try to get the guys to play together. And he's got the guys buying into it. And it isn't just winning. Like, you can't just say, well, he's winning, that's why everybody's buying into it. The thing is they were 0-2 and had to have come the aha Jesus moment. Like, oh, we got to figure this out or we're going to be 0-8. That's what happens to all Chicago teams. At best, they start out real quick and they're feeling real good. They're like 3-1, and then they fall off the face of the earth. This time it was different. So if you're a Bear fan, it's different. Thinking about same old Bears, same old Lions. Like that mentality, to me, there's no game that happens in where you just become a different team. There's no, there's a moment that happens where your guys buy into, winning the end of games. And when your team can start doing that and they start buying into your systems, then you can start winning games on a regular basis. John Dorn's in the house. What's up, buddy?
It's my quarterback.
We don't have to fight every day. Today we can be here on a united front where we can go, Minnesota, heh. John and I can strike a peace deal for today. Because it's Overreaction Monday, and you're looking at the best division in football. Best division in football. I can try to make fun of the Packers all I want. I can try to make fun of the Bears all I want. I know my team's good. You should know your teams are good too. It's a good time. Iron sharpens iron too. It's at a point right here. We're going to be beating on each other. John Dorn, our teams are going to be beating on each other. And what that means is when we get to the playoffs, know thy enemy. When we get to the playoffs, the chances are to go far in the playoffs, you're going to have to go through another NFC North team for a third game. It's been so close. God, we almost met in the NFC Championship 2 years ago. But it's bound to happen. Best division in football. Iron sharpens iron. There's a good chance because all of these teams are so good and we got to play each other throughout the season twice that the Super Bowl champion's going to come out of the North. Whoever can survive the melee. Whoever can survive the melee could win the Super Bowl because we're hardened. We got tough teams. You know, Green Bay, you guys caught us in week 1. You caught us. You caught us. We weren't even fully prepared for the season, and that's on our, you know, I mean, could blame it on the new coordinators or whatever, but we weren't ready. We weren't ready for week 1, and you punched us in the mouth. But all the, I mean, we're going to have some tough games. And with Green Bay, don't worry about the Lions as much. For one, you're going to get our best shot on Thanksgiving. Don't you worry. I know that Dan Campbell and the way that our guys are, we're going to give you a really, really good shot, win or lose, on Thanksgiving. But you got a very mad Bears franchise that is starving to get some victories against you. You got Ben Johnson was running his mouth. He was running his mouth about how he enjoyed beating up on the Packers so much. So as far as a game I'm looking forward to this year that isn't a Lions game, I'm looking forward to the Chicago versus the Packer games this season. Because John Doran can be in there and tell you he ain't scared of the... I mean, of course, you've owned the Bears. The Bear ownership is evident. Just look back of that pure Bear ownership of the Packers. But that isn't just the same old Bears team. The Packers are looking at 3 very, very tough games, I think. They will all be tough. 3 tough games in your own division. And I'm looking forward to it. The tough, grindy games. You know, watching that Arizona game, I'm not all that impressed with that Packer win, but what I am impressed about within that Packer win is the way that they won the game. It comes back to complimentary football. They say it over and over again. It's so cliche. They keep on saying complimentary football. You got to be that's exactly what it is. When you're down, you have different elements of your team that's lifting the other parts of the team that aren't playing as good. Jordan Love was not playing good in that game. They got down, and what happened? The special teams and the defense picked it up, started shutting them down on a regular basis. Just giving extra opportunities for their offense. And then Jordan Love was able to put it together. Take him down, get a hard touchdown. And then what happens again? Another turnover. They get a bad turnover. You see, Arizona wasn't playing complimentary football. They were trying to get first downs too much. They had an opportunity and they got outcoached. They got outcoached at the end. You could have played a lot more of the time game and made it a lot more stressful on Green Bay at the end, but no, they wanted to get those higher impact plays like they were getting earlier with the Trey McBrides earlier in the game. And that's what happens when good teams play bad teams. Even if the bad teams start to get out, then the good teams are the ones that do well in those key moments where you're getting that complimentary football. And Arizona is a bad team. Arizona is a bad team. And you say, oh, wow, they were winning 3 out of 4 of their games and they lost them all in the fourth quarter. Yeah, that's because they're a bad team. Bad teams have a trend of not being able to play consistently. All teams have good players. That's what you mean right there, Steve. That's what you really mean. Arizona is a bad team, but Arizona has good players because there is good players on every team. And during a 4-quarter game, I mean, every team has explosions of goodness. Oh, potential. Saw a little bit of potential with Marvin Harrison Jr. Saw a little bit of potential. You know, you definitely see the potential and the dominance of the type of player like Trey McBride. Good players. Good players don't make good teams. The Green Bay Packers are a good team. Good team. Matt LaFleur makes them play well together. And at the end of games, you can count on them to be poised in the moment. That's good team. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a good player. A player. And that's okay. Because a lot of good players are on teams that they want to make into good teams. And that's where you want to start seeing that continuity. Teams that are figuring out, the players that are figuring out how to win as a team. Arizona's lost in that way. Matt LaFleur just completely was the better coach down the stretch and was able to maneuver his way back into the game and then end up taking the lead at the end. The Bears they're believing. They have a belief system. Their players are starting to believe into the philosophies of Ben Johnson. And they haven't had that. I've watched the Bears, closely since the start of this podcast in 2020. And I've watched them all over the place. I watched them say the same thing year after year. Even if they got out the quick, oh, you better watch out for Trubisky. You better watch out for Justin Fields. You look out. We got all this talent. You always have talent. You always have talent. But does that talent believe in your coach's vision? That's the question that needs to be answered. And you can see it within the Chicago Bears. Like when the Bears come back around, and actually we're going to be going to Soldier Field. I expect them to play a lot tougher. We put a 52 burger on them. We embarrassed that team. They'll remember that. I fully expect a much better shot from the Bears the second time around. First time coach. I mean, it takes a minute. But he's got those guys believing in now that's 4 in a row. Now they're starting to believe in each other. They got real momentum. Now they might get punched in the mouth by a good team. I'm not saying that, but I mean Caleb Williams isn't, the end all be all in there. He still doesn't look great. But there's still a way higher ceiling on that, So it's kind of funny when I look at the 3 games. That's my conclusion. The villain verdict on the Overreaction Monday. The villain verdict is that this is the best division in football. That's my villain verdict. And my villain verdict also has to do with the most impressive thing that happened to me was the Minnesota loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, because the Eagles are the most impressive team. I wasn't that impressed with the Green Bay win. And I like the Chicago win. I like the Chicago. They beat the crap out of a bad team. That's all good. I'm not gonna give them to them, but I thought that Minnesota played a lot better in that game than I thought that they were gonna play against the Eagles. So I guess that's my villain verdict is that don't sleep on Minnesota quite yet. And they're sitting there at 3-3 just chilling. Everybody else won, and that's fine. That's all good, but I'm ready. I'm ready for the action tonight. I'm ready for the Monday night game with the entire world watching.
Tonight's the night, see? Monday night under the lights. 2 crews step into the same ring. You got your quarterback with the silver tongue, the other with the swagger and the scars. This ain't polite tea time. This is Detroit. This is Ford Field. This is where promises get collected. We don't talk about taking people out. We talk about taking advantages. Opponent walks in thinking they're on vacation, we remind them they're in our town. Just in case they get confused. That's like a little tap on a kneecap with a Louisville slugger. Makes them unconfused and seeing things much clearer. Because in Detroit, Buccaneers, we come to collect what's owed. Monday night, we cash in.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for watching the Villain Report today. Overreaction Monday. Sorry I was a little bit late today. We'll have to figure out how I'm going to do these lives. But I used StreamYard today. I had some fun with it. That's right. It's faith, family, and then football. In that order, we use football to spend time with our family, create memories. We don't let football use us. Thank you so much for watching the program today. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again in Jesus' name. Amen. So make sure that you're active tonight during that game. I'm going to be posting some things that are out there. I need my troops. I need my troops out there on them posts, asking questions, going out there. I'm going to be going to my church tonight and watching the game. I have never done that. It was something that was organized by another person at my church. And I appreciate you, Dave Mosier, for organizing that. So I know I got to be on my best behavior tonight. I'm going to go for it. But Lions need this win. Let me know if that PTSOL is creeping in.